It's a strange time to be a human being. We were born too late to explore the Earth and too soon to explore the universe, where every far-reaching corner of our Earth has been explored and mapped, and our cities, towns and homes are designed to cater to every comfort you could possibly need or want.
I believe you can hike!
And in the face of what we call modern society, to seek discomfort is an act of defiance.
I've just accepted spiders on my face at this point.
Back in 1926, honest hard work pulled riches from the earth that I'm currently working.
Ah!
And with the world entering uncertain times, forcing the gold price to skyrocket, there has never been a better time to become a gold prospector.
Today, Gadsy and I are exploring a mine complex up in the northeast of Victoria, and Gadsy's just spotted something in the floor of the mine that's very interesting that we're going to have to dig out before I take you gold prospecting with a metal detector and a pan. Every time I've been into this mine, I found something new. I found a newspaper, we found Vegemite jars, we found Hessian bags, we found their rail system, we found gold-bearing ore, and then Senior Sweaty Pants, he has found something sitting right at the front. This, to me, looks like a bucket. Well, it's rock shifting time. I feel like an archaeologist. If that was a bucket full of ore, I would legitimately lose my bananas. Between the newspaper article, the Vegemite jar, and the historical records, we know this mine dates to 1923. So that is a 100-year-old bucket.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that. Oh, wow. Well, it hasn't got a bottom. That's wicked.
That's awesome.
Gadsy reckons that's an ore bucket. I'm going to say it's the poop bucket.
Oh my god! Oh.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. With the excitement of the poop bucket going, I'm looking at this vein here. It's a really good example of a compression zone. So we've got two different types of bedrock compressing a quartz vein, and it's utterly destroyed it. It turns it into this soft clay-like material, and it tends to have really good gold values if you can find these compared to the hard quartz veins you get in most mines. So of course I've taken my trusty tools bag down here and I have a small sample. The entry of the mine is about 20 meters over there, and I've just come back to where I found that newspaper not too long ago. I want to just see if there's any more pieces in here. And give it a real gentle scrape back, and hopefully something will pop out. Oh.
Right, yeah, I can see.
Yeah, that's it. That's it there. Look at that. Man, look. It's the whole freaking thing just here. Look at this.
Oh!
Look.
Yeah! Be gentle.
It's my first time. I've got the right tool for the job, clearly. A steel pick. Oh my.
I can't stand it. Oh my god, I think that's it.
It looks like the whole freaking thing, man.
It is.
Yeah, we're just going to have to get this dirt off because I can't lift it like that.
Oh wow.
Is that a rock? Yes. Oh my god.
That's a full sheet.
Oh, there's more of that steel. I think this is part of them holding their track systems together because I found a whole bunch of it. It's the whole thing.
Oh my god. Wow.
That's amazing. That is a whole new. Okay. That is the end of the day. We're going to come back to that. There's.
Oh!
What? Matchbox! That's a matchbox! Safety matches, Gadsy.
Brian, safety matches.
Man, it's always nice to get out of there and take off that respirator. But this is definitely the find of, well, so far the day. Brian and something Crown Australian-made safety matches. And that is on top of finding the entire newspaper. Now, if you haven't seen me finding this, that video is up on my Facebook page, where I initially found just a few fragments of that on the floor. So to uncover the whole thing today is unbelievable. Coburg, New Villa, 2 minutes to tram, $725. $725 for a house. And these are lot numbers.
You say Our Parents People. Our Parents People. That's the name of the movie.
It's 1923 and the youth are debating Our Parents People.
Our Parents People.
Whilst that little adit back there is an amazing discovery and I've got a lot more exploring to do in it, I came across the main workings of this mine stretch and I really want to swing a detector over it because there are no detector holes anywhere. And I forgot to put hiking boots on today, so I'm out in the bush in sketches. Here's one of the first mines in the series. It's relatively significant, but it's very collapsed. It's taken a lot of weathering. The larger the workings, generally speaking, it seems the more well put together they are, the more accurate they are with their ore removal. The smaller the workings, there seems to be a lot of spillage, and that's where I've been finding my gold nuggets.
Okay, it would appear I've got my first good signal.
Gotta bet that's a bit of junk by the sounds of it, but you never know. Yep, first little bit of tin. Gonna dig a lot of junk today, I bet. Now I should reiterate, I'm only detecting on my way down to the creek. There is a creek at the bottom of this valley, and that creek has never been touched by industrial mining. Sure, some people might have taken gold pans there and done their thing with gold pans, but from what I could tell, it's been basically left alone, and there are so many gold mines on this ridge that that creek has to have gold in it. So what I keep my eyes open for are more workings on this slope. Yep, just like that. It's hard to tell on camera, but that is about 50 feet deep. Right on the edge of workings like this, you're always going to find targets from rubbish and junk to sometimes gold. This sounds like junk, but we're going to dig it. With some luck, my bag won't fall down that hill and I'll get this target in the first scoop. Well, I've got barely anything left in my hand. It's got to be that, I reckon. Yeah, no, another bit of tin. This tin usually sounds really good, and you got to dig them. You got to dig everything. A really deep signal here. I got to move this timber. Oh, that's not light. That is not light. And all that work for a cruddy piece of iron. Sometimes you don't even need to dig. Ah, that is an old bucket handle. How cool is that? Look at that. They've twisted up an old bucket handle. That's coming home with me. I'm at this wicked open stope. It's nice and long, really deep. Serious quartz veins down the other end. Look at how thick those veins actually are. And it's obvious because I'm standing on their waste rock, which is full of quartz. So they were getting rid of a lot of bull quartz, and that's usually where I find my specimens. I finally got an okay sounding signal. And typically it's right on the edge of a stope. Alright, I've cleared a pad for it. I'm gonna have to pull it this way. I am just hoping that between my feet and the rocks I've made, but it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, it appears we have knocked it down. Hey! It sounds more like junk now, but the amount of quartz around, maybe. Okay, it's definitely junk by the sounds of that. That's all I got my scoop, so let's just try rock by rock. No, this one. That was easy. Nope. What is that? Ah, lead. That's why it sounds so good. That is a very squished shotgun pellet. I swear I'll get to the creek eventually. I just keep passing mines that have to be detected. I think that's off some kind of hand tool because it had some decayed wood inside it. Any ideas what that might be, guys? So far as I can tell, this is their lowest mine, and it connects directly onto an access road that goes down here and then doubles back across the creek line and disappears off into the bush. Now I followed that road as far as I could and it just literally disappears. So what I'm going to do today is take a sample of soil from out of the creek, because from what I can tell, this creek line has never been significantly worked. Maybe some old timers with pans came down here and panned their way up. That's probably how they found this mine in the first place. But there wasn't sluice boxes or anything here on an industrial scale for one simple reason: there's no water. And bedrock like that is a perfect gold trap. I just found another mine. I would absolutely love to go in there, but I left my respirator all the way up the top. So we got to put that on the to-do list for sure. About 250 meters of vertical gain up there is where we started today. And I've got down to the creek line. I've been following the creek looking for bedrock, which I have exposed right here. There are about 40 major gold mines up on that ridge line, meaning that this creek should have gold in it. It'll likely also have a lot of old timers rubbish in it, but this is a perfect place to crevice and detect. So listen to this. So that could be rubbish, but it could be gold. So this really is quite a tight little place to work. But that's okay. What I want to know is what that signal was, because it very well could be a piece of gold. It really could be. Because there's a metal thing in here, I'm going to take part of my soil sample from this spot. I'm going to get rid of the big rocks because I really don't need to be carrying unnecessary weight back up there. Whatever it is still in there, and this is a deep little drop off down here. If there's gold coming down this creek, I would hazard a guess there would be at least a few pieces in it. Whatever it was fairly deep down into this hole. We got a whole bunch of soil out of it, but it's now in this pile just here. Somehow I don't think it's going to be a big gold nugget. I reckon it's going to be a big hunk of steel. Yeah, there, that. I reckon it's that. That looks like the tip of a knife or a chisel or a pick. Yep, that's what it was. Thing is, if this is catching heavy iron like this, it should also be catching golds. It's all fun and games while the gold fever's going, and then halfway up the hill and your thighs are burning, you have mad regrets. I have now been doing Vo-Gus prospecting as a full-time job for 7 years. I've made almost 800 videos for just YouTube in that time. I've made a video almost every single day for Facebook for the same period. And I've learned a lot in that time, and I've had to develop and change my skills and upgrade, and I am still learning. It's a beautiful thing about this hobby. It just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. You think you have a grasp on some kind of concept, and then you find out just how much you don't know. Hunch is over, and oh my god, yep, so light. I have to go back up. I have to go back up the hill. That's fine. Walking up the hill's fine. Don't worry about walking up the hill. Walking up the hill in these branches, this weird sapling stuff is everywhere. It's intertwined like razor wire. It is really horrible, and it's the whole way up, and then in between the razor wire are spiders. The higher I climb, the less sort of intertwined they are. They're more just vertical sticks. We found him. A wild Gadsy. Gadsy and I are slowly working our way back up the hill, just metal detecting over the mines, a little slower and a little bit more conscious effort. And I got a nice sounding signal here. It was under this log, wasn't sure, kicked some crap out of the way. This is what it sounds like. Now that sounds very much like a gold tone to me. That's just the thing, the bigger the mine, the more industry, and the more industry, the more stuff is in the ground. Iron, steel, they're the same things. Lead, all the bits of crap. So you got to keep at it, and you got to hope for the best. It sounded so promising, and it ended up being a little scrap of iron. Well, hopefully there's something in my samples. We have been out here for hours, and I have a bag of literal rock on my back. Gadsy, Huh? How are ya? Well, with all that being said, I have a signal in my scoop. We're almost back up to the mine. It doesn't sound terrible. And I've dug so much steel and lead and tin today that it's probably going to be that. But I figured I'll turn the camera on. I give it to Gadsy. I believe you can hike. I believe you can touch the Moloch pile.
I'll get up here someday. Heart prospectors.
You know it's the end of the day when you lie down to do your scoop. I really hope it's in that big bit of quartz. I just love that. Let's just try it. Let's just shortcut this. If it's not in this, pure sadness.
Ah!
Yeah! I thought it sounded good. I can see. I thought it sounded good. That's the only reason I turned the camera on. I was like, I'm stuffed, and every time I don't turn the camera on when I'm stuffed and I get like an okay signal, it's gold. It's freaking. It's gold.
You know I detected around here.
Yeah, you missed it by not much. That's one of Gadsy's holes, and it's about 1 meter and a bit away, right on the edge here. Look, there it is, hanging out the side. I shall spit on it. I know how much you guys hate that. It's not going to stop me. Look at it.
Good. Poking its little head out.
Look at that under the macro.
I reckon it's in there too, in that pocket.
It's not big though. You can hear it. It's here, Gadsy. That's the first bit.
I detected here. I even went over that section.
You know what the difference is?
I am cursed.
And now I got mixed like a coin in my bag.
Oh, well, that's not fair. I need my swammy sandwich.
Here you go. I found my bit.
Oh,
It's your turn with that.
Yeah, I've got your dog too now.
If you want to see the other side of this, you have a channel.
Yes!
We've held out. We have held out promoting your channel until he had a backlog of videos. You now have a backlog of videos.
I do.
And he's doing amazing things that I love. So, Buckshot Prospector.
Yeah.
There will be a link up here.
Up here.
Look, gold nuggets are satisfying. But I feel like this is just ever so slightly more satisfying. That was a good one. Yeah. That's me looking straight and level. And Senor Goat Pants up there has just decided to go straight up. Gadsy, why are we going straight up? Why? I'm wearing Skechers, not hoofs like you. Now my backpack is not only full of another bag of rocks from the mine, but also the weight of responsibility with a newspaper. Oh, this is gonna be a heavy sumbitch. But at least I'm not carrying the mine's crap bucket back up a hill. Hiking to the bottom of that gully was brutal, but we're back. As I systematically work my way through this gold mine to try and identify where there may be a gold-bearing quartz vein that's worth chasing, I've taken this small sample out of the sidewall right at the entrance. So much of my hard rock mining has centered around chasing very hard, solid lumps of quartz like this. And that's because when I'm metal detecting, more often than not, the pieces of gold that I find around these hard rock mines are locked up in those white pieces of quartz. And some pieces of quartz like this that are heavily mineralized will contain very fine gold within them. That's not necessarily what the old miners were chasing in my area. Yes, absolutely, quartz like this can and does contain gold. I found a lot of it in quartz like that. This material here contains a lot more minerals and a lot less quartz overall. And ultimately, it's the minerals and not the quartz that brings the gold up to the surface. Now I am going to crush all that in a second, but I want to know if this stuff contains any gold, because if I get a single piece of gold out of this, it means we might be on a winner. Well, not that one. Hard rock mining is the gold miner's ultimate challenge, because if you hit the right vein, your rewards will be much bigger, but finding the right vein compared to finding the right spot in the creek is way more difficult. Well, I'm not really seeing that many sulfides in here comparatively to some of the ore that I've crushed. Oh, we got gold. Yeah, there's gold in that vein. Remember, this is a very small sample and I did a rough crush. I need to process this ore a lot finer than what I did. Hard rock gold is usually very fine, so you can see some of the iron that's come out in the ore there, and then just on the edge of the iron and the pan is about 2 dozen very, very fine specks of gold. That's why I have to crush it up very fine to release that. Certainly not the best result I've ever had from hard rock, but it's good to see that there's still gold in that mine, so my hunt continues. Let's process the dirt I got from the creek. We're not going to classify this because I want to be able to wash all the big rocks, just in case there's fine gold on them. Logic says that there should be at least a couple little pieces of gold in this, because it was trapping a heavy iron object, and that creek sits directly below some major gold mines. If there's gold in this, next time it rains, I will be straight up to that creek to have a proper prospect. This will just tell us if there is gold shedding out of those workings and into the creek system. There's that piece of iron that I detected. Come on, one piece. One good little piece would be so nice. Oh yeah. Look at that, that's a chunky little bit. I got a chunky little piece of gold coming out here. I would be willing to bet that there is going to be a whole bunch more of this kind of gold sitting in the crevices of that creek, because that was literally the first and only crevice that I scratched out the entire day, and I didn't even finish it. As soon as it rains, I'm going back there with some panning gear and some crevice tools. I'm going to see if I can find more of this.